Thank you for joining us this Monday afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor. Now at noon, the jury comes to a final decision on an Arkansas man's role in the January 6th Capitol riots. Plus, authorities continue to look for a motive in this weekend's mass shooting at a dance hall in California. We'll hear from the community, their reaction on the latest and on the investigation. And more classified material discovered in one of President Biden's Delaware homes over the weekend. A closer look at D.C., where even senior Democrats are taking a critical stance over the handling or mishandling of the fouls. And students from all over Arkansas will be in downtown Little Rock later today. We're digging into the reason why in 5 minutes. But first, good news for them. Meteorologist Nathan Scott joins us. And Scott, it's going to be a cold week, but at least the sun is out right now.
Good afternoon, Jurnee. Do not be fooled, though. The sun will be disappearing as we go into tomorrow, and that's ahead of our next storm system that will produce significant snow in the higher terrain. That's where we have a winter storm watches that have been posted in the blue here, and that includes north central Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, and even west Arkansas, as close as Logan County, northern parts of Van Buren County. Now, I do think there will be winter weather advisories issued for parts of central Arkansas, because we will have the opportunity of seeing a little bit of snow here in central Arkansas, but by far it's going to be Newton County, Searcy County, northern parts of Pope County, Stone County, Izard County. You're going to see quite a bit of snow head in your direction. So looking at the road impacts of what you can expect Tuesday afternoon, but especially Tuesday night and throughout the day on Wednesday, snow-covered roads for the Ozarks, for northwest Arkansas. So Interstate 49 will be a mess. Highway 65, the same story. But look at the change getting into Little Rock. Those impacts really start to decrease, and that's because here in West Central Arkansas, this will primarily be a rain event. Today, lots of sun, cool, comfortable, highs upper 40s to lower 50s. I'll have my snowfall forecast amounts coming up a little bit later and let you know when the rain will be changing over to snow across the state.
Nathan, thank you. And a little over an hour ago, a jury found Arkansan Richard Barnett guilty on all counts for his role in the Capitol riot. He was on trial in federal court for 8 different counts related to the incident. The trial ended last Friday, and the jury began their deliberations today. The 61-year-old became well known after photos were posted online of him with his feet on Nancy Pelosi's desk. The nation saw its 33rd mass shooting of this new year in Monterey Park, California, Saturday night, not far from Los Angeles. Shots rang out as a group of mostly Asian Americans were celebrating the Lunar New Year at a dance party. 10 people were killed and 10 were injured. Nichelle Medina has the latest.
As investigators work to determine what motivated a gunman to open fire in a dance hall, residents in Monterey Park, California struggle to cope with a mass shooting that left 10 people dead.
I feel this sense of great loss about the home that I always had. It's just gone. I'll never be able to feel safe here again.
Suddenly heard the boom, 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 boom.
Hattie Pung was at the Star Ballroom Dance Studio Saturday night as shots rang out.
You will see the body already, several lying there.
The LA County Sheriff said 20 to 30 minutes later, the same gunman entered another ballroom about 3 miles away. A man working there says he wrestled the gun away from the suspect, who fled in a white van. 72-year-old Hu Can Tran was eventually tracked down in Torrance, where police say he took his own life as a SWAT team moved in. About 60% of the residents here in Monterey Park are Asian Americans. Many have begun leaving candles and flowers at the dance hall.
I know people need to talk about it. I think mental health stuff is so real and so difficult in the Asian American community, Chinese community in particular, to get there.
Police say the suspect used a semi-automatic handgun that is illegal to own in California. The shooting spree has renewed calls to reduce gun violence in America.
Why do we have so many guns in this country and even more on the horizon? It's not right. Other countries don't operate this way, and we should not either.
Authorities said most of the victims were middle-aged or older members of the Asian American community. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Monterey Park, California.
Today, Senate Bill 43 is going to the full Senate floor. It's one of the most high-profile and notable bills since the start of the legislative session, and that has gotten national attention. Now, over at the Capitol, the bill looks to add restrictions to where drag performances can happen, officially classifying it as an adult-oriented business. The bill was passed out of committee on Thursday, and if the bill passes in the Senate today, it will still have to pass in the State House before it reaches the governor's desk. We have a team at the Capitol now, and we will have more on today's sessions tonight at 5 and 6. And yesterday at the Capitol, pro-life advocates spent the day participating in a March for Life. Supporters walked from State Street to the steps of the state Capitol. That's where Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders pledged to continue her administration's fight to save lives.
We can and we must do better protecting those who cannot protect themselves.
It's been nearly 7 months since the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, allowing Arkansas's ban on abortions to take effect. Well, today over in the State House, lawmakers will vote on a bill that would shift the start date for schools. If passed, the bill would make the first day for all public schools between August 19th and August 26th, barring some sort of emergency. That would make the start of the year more uniform across the state. As far as the specific day, the individual school districts will be able to decide that. And over in Washington, D.C., more questions for President Biden. The FBI left the president's Delaware home Friday with 6 additional documents that have classification markings, spurring criticism on both sides of the aisle. As CBS's Skylar Henry reports, the Justice Department is considering searching other properties connected to the president.
President Biden headed back to the White House Monday, where his administration faces more questions about the latest discovery of items with classified markings. The president spent the weekend at his house in Rehoboth Beach, while the FBI searched his primary residence in Wilmington Friday for 13 hours. Investigators reviewed personally handwritten notes, files, and other items going back decades. The president's private attorney says the FBI took 6 items consisting of documents with classification markings and surrounding materials.
I can think of no reason why the president should have taken home as a senator or as vice president any classified documents.
Republican criticism has been consistent, but now even some Democrats are questioning what happened.
Whether it was the fault of a staffer or an attorney, it makes no difference. The elected official bears ultimate responsibility.
The top Republican on the House Oversight Committee says he's sending a letter to the Secret Service today demanding records.
Any type of documentation that would help us determine who actually had access to those documents.
But President Biden's allies point out in this case there was no need for a search warrant, unlike the document search at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, which required a judge to grant access.
In the end, we will see this was just an inadvertent matter of filing, in sharp contrast to his predecessor.
An estimated 25 to 30 documents and items connected to Mr. Biden have been recovered so far, and sources say the DOJ is considering searching other properties owned by the president. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
A woman accused in a deadly shooting in North Little Rock appeared in court this morning. 34-year-old Allison Boyles is facing a charge of capital murder. Officers responding to a home on Lakeview Road near North Hills Boulevard Sunday morning arrived to find 56-year-old Douglas Reynolds dead. He'd been shot multiple times. The police say when they was there, Boyles was there at the home, and after questioning her, officers arrested her in the shooting death. And this morning in Conway, police are trying to identify a suspect in a deadly double shooting. It happened on Lucille Street Saturday, just east of the UCA campus. Police are not yet releasing the names of the 2 victims, but we do know that one of them died at the scene and the other at a hospital. The tax filing season gets underway today. This year, the IRS will accept your taxes through April 18th. Now, before you start the process, experts want you to keep a few things in mind. The process can be stressful and at times confusing, which is why experts say it's important to be prepared with everything you need and do not rush to file.
If you hurry up and file, you may not receive all of your forms, and that could cause a processing delay with your return, and it'll take you longer to receive your refund.
Right now on THV11.com, you'll find a story with details on what else you need to know before you file. Well, meanwhile, a welcome update about former Razorback Peyton Hillis. According to a Facebook post by Hillis's girlfriend, he was released from the hospital Friday night. In a note posted with the picture on the screen, you see them. She says the amount of love and gratitude she has for the team that took care of Peyton is, quote, indescribable. The 37-year-old spent time in the ICU after reportedly rescuing his children from drowning 2 weeks ago. Well, more people across the country are seeing injuries from virtual reality headsets. Coming up, we'll take a look at the dangers and experts' advice to stay safe as possible while playing. Nathan?
All right, well, we've got snow in the forecast for parts of Arkansas. It's all about elevation, who sees the most and who won't see any at all. I'll have more on that potential winter weather coming up.